Hi, my name is Jackie and welcome to my channel about tea. So this week we've had phenomenal weather, like either Wednesday or Thursday, Thursday? One day this week we actually had weather that was like almost 60 degrees, and John and I took Oliver out for a walkabout, and this is actually the first week where we've been able to, where the weather's been nice enough where we've been able to put him in the stroller and walk around our neighborhood and go to the park. So that was really exciting I would say that was exciting for Oliver, but honestly he just fell asleep after like 5 or 10 minutes. But it was nice to get out to walk around, stretch our legs. But now today it's like super like gloomy and rainy, and I actually kind of like that weather. Especially I think on weekends, because it's just a good excuse to kind of cozy up and hibernate and drink hot tea. I'm gonna make some cookies here in a little bit, but we'll see how those turn out because I ran out of flour, and so I only put in like I think half the amount of flour that I was supposed to, and so I don't know what's gonna happen. My guess is it's gonna just like turn into a gigantic cookie puddle. But I'll let you know how that turns out. So it's the end of March, and that means that it is time to go through my sips for the month. The first one is actually what I'm drinking now, and it is Earl Grey Lavender from Adagio Teas. And it is black tea, lavender flowers, orange peels, blue corn flowers, natural vanilla flavor, natural bergamot flavor, and natural cream flavor. And I wrote about this a couple years ago, and I'll leave a link down in the description box below. But this is, I recall this being like a really finicky tea, trying to steep. Like I tried it once and over steeped it, put too much tea leaves in it. It was terrible. And then I made it a second time, and it was like the stars aligned, and it was just like this glorious blend of vanilla and bergamot flavor and lavender, and it was a really pleasant springtime tea. This one actually does come highly recommended by me, so if you are into, I know that lavender and teas is kind of an acquired taste, but if you like floral teas, if you like Earl Greys, this one is worth trying out. So these, I had some of these tea bag samples. I had green popcorn tea, which is their genmaicha. I always love a genmaicha. It's this buttery, toasty tea that is perfect, I think, for like late mornings, early afternoons if you need a little bit of a caffeine pick-me-up. And then there is Foxtrot, which is chamomile, peppermint, and rooibos. And I mean, chamomile and peppermint just go well with each other, and I think the rooibos actually elevates the flavor of this tea a little bit more. And then finally, their peppermint tea, which, I mean, peppermint is always a win in my book. And then I just reviewed this, but their berry cream compote. I finished up this sample pack, and I mean, if you saw my video, or if you haven't watched my video, you can go ahead and check it out. But I adore this. I love this hot. I love this iced. Definitely worth checking out. Now moving on to some of the teas that were in like a past Sips by box. I drank this Chunmi green tea from Made of Tea, and of course I reviewed it. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I loved this tea. I've never had a green tea quite like this Chunmi green tea. Squirrel. And then these next two, I wasn't a huge fan of. First is this saffron chai from Tamina, and so the ingredients read Assam black tea, ginger root, cinnamon, cloves, saffron, green cardamom, and natural flavor. And unfortunately, I don't know, I still have a couple more samples to experiment with. I don't know if I didn't steep it long enough, if I put too much water in, but this was just like a really weak tea, unfortunately. And then Red Hot Hibiscus from the Jasmine Pearl Tea Company. I love this packaging. I love this label. It's a beautiful label. And so the ingredients in this was cinnamon, hibiscus, and orange peel. I was kind of maybe a little bit reluctant to drink it because I am kind of on the fence with hibiscus. I think it's really easy for it to overpower tea, but it didn't come through in this, and I'm almost kind of bummed out about that. Because really the dominant flavor that I got in this was the cinnamon, and I think I was expecting like the sweet cinnamon that is in Harney & Sons hot cinnamon spice tea, hot cinnamon spice tea. Just like this really sweet, spicy, cinnamony flavor, and that's not the kind of cinnamon that was in this. The cinnamon in this was maybe more akin to tree bark. I would still probably check out some more of their blends though, because I want to say I've seen on Instagram some other blends by the Jasmine Pearl Tea Company that were really enticing. So if I do get those, of course, I'll let you know how they are. And then, last summer for my birthday, I went on a tea buying bender. I ordered a massive box from DavidsTea, and I ordered a massive box from Harney & Sons, and I ordered a massive box from Adagio teas, and then I tried out a company that was new to me called T2. So I drank all of these teas this month, and I would say for the most part, all of them were winners. So I was really impressed with this French Earl Grey. And so it's a black tea, and I want it black tea and bergamot, and I want to say it was rose petals, maybe like a rose flavor. Let's see if I can. I think it was rose, but I would definitely get this again. This was lovely. I had a couple of nightcaps to try to lull me to sleep. It didn't work. But I had just chamomile, which if you watched my What I Drink in a Day video, you recognize the name of this tea. Loved this. And then I drank Sleep Tight, which was fine. It didn't blow my mind like their chamomile and their French Earl Grey, but still good. And then I had their Melbourne breakfast, which is just like maybe like a Melbourne breakfast style tea, like your Irish breakfast, your English breakfast. And it was just black tea and I think vanilla flavor. Still smells really good. You can still smell the vanilla in this. And then I tried this Morning Sunshine tea, which is just another breakfast tea. Like a breakfast tea. It's a blend of I think 3 different black teas, so this was also pretty good. Then I had lemongrass and ginger, which I normally probably would not have picked up for myself, but it was refreshing. So, and then I had geisha, and then I had Gorgeous Geisha, which is a green tea with strawberries, like strawberries and cream flavor. It was okay. I don't know if the strawberry flavor really came through as much as I expected. It smelled amazing. Still smells amazing. Just the bag itself smells amazing. But the flavor of the tea almost didn't live up to the aroma, like the scent of the tea. But still pretty tasty. But my favorite probably of the green tea that I had from T2 was this Geisha Getaway. And so it's green tea and coconut and pineapple bits, and I'm starting to discover that I think I am quite the fan of like green tea with coconut, because there was another tea that I had a couple months ago when I was on maternity leave that was a coconut green tea. When I first made it, I didn't care for it. And I had it hot, I had a hot tea. And then I cold brewed it the next day. Hello, Biscuit. I cold brewed it the next day, and it like completely changed my mind. And I'm gonna have to, I'll have to dig through, I'll have to dig through my Instagram to see, because I feel like it posted about it. I'll have to see if I can remember, or if I can find who blended it. And if I find it, then you'll see the name pop up somewhere down here. Again, if you watched my tea vlog, what I drink in a day video, you will have seen this from Harney & Sons, their mint verbena. Again, I'm a sucker for mint, and this was like a really strong mint tea, and I loved it. And then I had, this is an Alishan oolong tea from Tea Vivere, which again, I love oolong, and I don't really write about them that much, but Tea Vivere, I have always been impressed with their product. They do a lot of green teas, and they do a lot of oolong teas, and it's just, they're just consistently good. And then this peach fruit tea from Harney & Sons, and I was gonna do a review on this, and then I kind of forgot about it. Like I cold brewed this. I actually left it steeping in my refrigerator for 3 or 4 days. And the good news is this isn't really a tea that you can oversteep, but it didn't need to steep that long. And I poured it over ice, and I sweetened it with a little bit of maple syrup, which, by the way, is like one of my new favorite sweeteners. Actually, you know what? This would be like, I wonder how this would popsicle. Like, I kind of want to get like popsicle molds and, you know, try this out. And I bet you like the berry cream compote from Adagio tea would popsicle really well. I don't know why, like, I don't like popsicle, like what, like I'm 30, like why am I thinking about popsicles? But I'm just like, that would be awesome, right? A popsicle tea, a tea popsicle, a tea pop. So maybe I'll try that. Maybe that'll be a thing for me this summer. And then last but not least is this Nut Crunch Rooibos from Tea Sparrow. And this is green honeybush, green rooibos, apple pieces, raisins, natural almond flavor, and hazelnut pieces. And it says, this tea is deliciously divine. The green rooibos, fruit pieces, and hazelnut crunch make this the perfect seasonal blend. With a dash of milk, you have warm pie a la mode in a cup. You guys, this was so dreamy. Like it's nutty, it's creamy, it's sweet. I can smell the apple coming through. This was like pretty darn perfect, just hot, like just brewed plain hot, like no additions. I loved it. But I also turned this into a latte. It was amazing. I loved it. So Tea Sparrow Nut Crunch Rooibos. This, I feel like of all the tea that I drank this month, like the Chunmi tea was really good and the berry cream compote was really good, but this Nut Crunch Rooibos was also really amazing, and I'm just bummed that I drank this entire sample before you know, I got around to reviewing it. So I have a couple more samples from Tea Sparrow, and if you know, if they're anything like this, like I'm pretty stoked to be tasting them, so I'll let you know how they are. Oh, and I forgot, you'll recognize this little guy if you watched my tea vlog video, what I drink in a day, when I drink in a day, but this is the Caribbean Crush. So good. I want my tea ban to be over so I can buy more of this, because summer is coming and I just want to make like a pitcher of this and drink it. Like, I just keep thinking about this tea. I think that's a wrap for today. If you liked this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I would be curious to know, what are some of your March favorites, your March sips, your March empties? What did you enjoy drinking this month? And if you've tried any of the teas that I mentioned today, let me know which ones and what you thought of them. I'd love to know. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Bye. This is what happens when you only have half of the flour that a recipe calls for. They're super flat. They're Frisbees.